From an NBA legend giving the nod to Bol Bol over Victor Wembanyama to him having more experience in the league, here's why Bol Bol is better than Wemby. One of the greatest point guards of the sport also thinks Bol's better than the Frenchman. I'm talking about the man himself, Tim Hardaway Sr. He appeared on the Carlton show back in July of 2023, and when they started comparing both big men, Hardaway made it clear that he thinks Bol's the better player. Not only did he say that, but he even went on to explain that he thinks Bol has better physical talent and is NBA ready, unlike Wemby. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if a dude like Tim Hardaway's dropping some opinions, you've got to respect them at the very least. And to top it all off, he's not the only NBA Hall of Famer who's on the Bol Bol hype train. After all, even Shaquille O'Neal is. As great as Penny was, Shaq's an all-time great, so his opinion matters a lot. Him and Charles Barkley were talking about Wembanyama on Inside the NBA. But then out of nowhere, O'Neal felt like he needed to remind everyone about Bol. He started off by saying that he disagrees with the narrative of Victor being a never-before-seen talent. According to the Big Diesel, we've already seen a player like the Frenchman, and his name is Bol Bol. Chuck disagreed with him big time though, and they started arguing as they always do. Either way, the fact that dudes like Tim Hardaway and Shaq are backing Bol in the debate says a lot. At the end of the day, they have no reason to hype up Bol pointlessly. They obviously see something in the big man, and so do I. And while many people in the NBA world haven't commented on the Bol versus Wemby debate, most of them have only had good things to say about Bol's playstyle. I mean, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant, said that Bol's unique and tough to deal with, before saying that the big man can do anything when he's out on the floor. As for Stephon Marbury, he believes that Bol's going to be a top-tier player by the time the 2025 campaign rolls around the corner. And back when Bol was killing it for the Magic in the first half of the 2023 season, his former teammate, Paolo Banchero, said that with all the hype surrounding Victor, people forgot that Bol's just as good, if not better, because he can shoot threes, dribble like a guard, and even block shots. On top of that, Kyle Kuzma tweeted that the Magic needed to build around Bol. Unfortunately, they let go of the talented big man, and now he's on the Phoenix Suns, where some believe he can be the X factor. In fact, Kendrick Perkins says that Bol's the sleeper for the Suns, believing that the big man's gonna show up and have a breakout season in Phoenix during their 2024 campaign. Perk went as far as to say that Bol might just be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, while coming off the bench. That said, there's no way I can ignore the fact that numerous people are riding the Wemby hype train as well. Fans, players, analysts, and everyone in between have been praising Victor, with a Western Conference assistant coach calling the Frenchman a stud, before claiming that he's going to be the best to ever play the sport. Even NBA analyst Rachel Nichols has showered the guy with a lot of praise, saying that Victor will eventually make his way into the GOAT debate alongside LeBron and MJ. As for KD, he thinks Wembanyama will design his own lane, which will be significantly distinct from anyone else's who has played the game. And a lot of this praise does make sense since the Frenchman scored 38 points in just his 5th game in the NBA, allowing himself to match Shaq in the record books. So if you back Wemby in the debate, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that he's been overrated by players and the media a bit too much. At the end of the day, there really isn't much separating both guys. If we were to look at their strengths and weaknesses, they're relatively similar. When it comes to their strengths, they're both super tall and agile with crazy wingspans. And despite being big men, they can both play like guards with ease. And that's a huge deal. After all, both of them have crazy handles and an insane jumper that's pretty much unguardable. Not only can they score inside, but they can make threes, and of course, they can block almost every shot because of their height. As for their weaknesses, they both have the same issues. They're too tall and skinny. When you've got a frame like that, you can suffer major injuries pretty easily. Plus, they can be bullied by the bigger and bulkier dudes like LeBron. Here's the thing though. Unlike Wemby, Bol hasn't consistently been given the freedom to go out there and be himself. But when he has gotten that freedom, he's proven why we can't forget about him. I mean, just look at how great he looked for Oregon during his college days. He averaged 21 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 2.7 blocks across 9 games. Not to mention, his efficiency was off the charts as he made 56% of his field goals and 52% of his shots from beyond the arc. That's nothing short of phenomenal. But the only reason he could do all that was because his coach actually gave him playing time. Bol was averaging nearly 30 minutes per game during his college days, and he made the most out of it. The story was the same when the Magic gave him meaningful minutes in the first half of the 2023 season. He got almost 28 minutes of playing time when he was a starter for the Magic, and boy did he make his mark. The big man averaged 12.5 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks during this stretch, while also setting his career high in points and rebounds. His shooting splits were fantastic, and he was beasting and feasting on teams. Also, back when this was happening, everyone was saying that he deserves as much hype as Wemby, if not more. In case you forgot what the hype was about, though, let me remind you of some of his best highlights. When Orlando faced off against the Hornets, Bol showed everyone what he's made of. With 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter, he caught the rebound and then brought the ball up the floor like a seasoned point guard. As if that wasn't impressive enough, he split the defense with a crazy Euro step, which allowed him to score an easy 2 points. Then there's the game against the Kings where he showed off his smooth handles some more. After catching the ball at the right wing, he hit his defender with a mean crossover before draining a spinning fadeaway. And of course, I can't forget about that unreal poster on Jerami Grant's head. Nor can I forget about his unforgettable play against the Hawks. He dribbled the ball up the floor, whipped out an insane spin move near the three-point line to beat his defender, hit a Euro step, and slammed the ball home for an easy 2 points. Plus, he's hit a ton of impressive threes. Based on what we've seen of Victor so far, he's been impressive, but I haven't seen him do 90% of the things Bol can. I think it's time we finally accept that Wemby's a little overrated. Because whether we're talking about the French League or even the few games he's played in the NBA, I've never seen him do crazy spin moves and go behind the back near half court to successfully get past his man. Bol's the only unicorn who can consistently do that, yet no one gives him enough credit for it. And as long as Wemby doesn't show off the skills that Bol has, it's only fair to give Bol the edge. What's more, Wemby might just be the most overrated three-point shooter ever. With the way people hype up his three-point shooting, you'd think his efficiency from beyond the arc is insane, but in reality, it's the exact opposite. Though when Bol is actually given a chance to go out there and be himself, he can shoot lights out from deep. Even otherwise, Bol's the more experienced player. Bol's been around since the beginning of the 2020 season, and the 2023 campaign's his fourth one in the NBA. Wemby only played against average players at best in France, while Bol has far more experience playing the best players in the league. Yeah, I know Wemby's 38-point game against the Suns was unreal, but it was primarily because Phoenix didn't have their starting big man playing for most of the game. Bol may not have had a 38-point explosion yet party due to a lack of opportunities, but he's still the more seasoned player, and his highlights are far better as well. As long as the Suns allow Bol to play even 25 minutes a game, I can guarantee that he'll go crazy all season long. So, from having more experience in the league to an NBA legend giving the nod to Bol over Victor, that was why Bol Bol is better than the Frenchman.